Angels, 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 angels. Just saying the word just makes you kind of smile, doesn't it? It just gives you a good feeling. Do you believe in angels? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But did you know that you see your angels quite often? And I guarantee you, you do not know that you're seeing them. You like how we're using my Harry Potter wand here. I'm really excited that I get to do this about angels because they are they're these magical entities that everybody loves and so many people connect and really believe in angels. And this is my first time just doing a YouTube solo YouTube live. Usually when I use StreamYard, I use Facebook and YouTube, but I really wanted to have people see me on YouTube and subscribe to my channel. And I'm also going to be doing some readings after the angel chat. So, I was this afternoon just going through, I see people on here, but I don't actually see people. I don't know. I'll just keep going. In any case, this afternoon I was looking at just Googling angels and the overwhelming feeling of how much information is out there about angels. And I mean, if you love angels, I think you could just spend days and days and days just reading and listening and understanding why I wanted to do this. And if you don't know who I am an attorney and I am a medium. And why I wanted to do this is because I think a lot of people don't understand exactly what angels do for us. And it's pretty incredible. And I always say, if you want to describe what angels, hello, Canada, if you want to describe what angels do, think of a fire, a wildfire in California, in that it is spread over like acres and acres and acres. And we've already seen that recently, and the firemen trying to keep up with it, but they can't. And then a storm just comes in and just drops rain all over this area to knock the fire out. That storm really is reflective or representing angels. That's what angels do. They come in at that time when we need them the most, and the miracles that they give us, when I say miracles, I mean, you can take that in so many different levels, right? With miracles. However, I also mean just giving us the strength that we already have, but they show us how to access it and to get through these really, really difficult times. I was thinking about like going through all, besides the fact of talking about how angels protect us and guide us, they definitely offer great inner wisdom for us. And I was going to go through all the archangels, but I'd be here all day if I did that. That's like a course in itself of just how many angels are around and archangels and the different level angels. But the greatest thing that I will talk about in a little bit is how many people do see their angels and they don't know they're seeing them. And, you may say, Stephen, how do you know this? Like, who are you? I'm just a guy with good hair, right? No, I am a medium. And, through the last 7-8 years of me doing readings, I have spoken to not only so many spirit, but also just so many angels also. And the communication and the messages that I've received from them is pretty incredible. Also in hindsight, a lot of stuff happened with me with angels because I didn't, prior to being a medium, I didn't have as much access as I have now to spirit, to the whole spirit realm, the spirit world. And I remember there was an incident with my husband who was working out. He was doing CrossFit. This was a couple of years ago, and it was a summer day, and the gym didn't have air conditioning. So he went out to the back, and the gym was part of like this sort of like this warehouse of number of stores. And he went into the back where there were like where stores would get like deliveries and stuff, but most of these stores were not open, but some were. In any case, he was back there doing sit-ups, and there was a woman with a guy in the car. She was driving, and she went back there and went right up the ramp. the one of the maintenance guys was in the back and standing on the deck, and because it happened so fast, he screamed to Elix to move because clearly she didn't see him, and she came barreling up backwards, mind you. She backed up, and if he didn't roll over, then she would have ran him over, and he possibly may not even have been here. So I, blessed everybody that I could bless when that happened, but not being a medium, I didn't understand it. And then in hindsight, I just realized that these were angels. And that's what angels do. Angels always interfere when there's something that maybe a person is in a particular position or a place that something very bad could happen, but angels know that it's not your time. And that's the intervening, which is really amazing. And I think, I believe from just my experience that most of angels have never been really earthbound. And that doesn't say that all of them are or haven't been earthbound, but most of them aren't. They're just around. And one of the most incredible things too that I always see and hear from angels is trying to make sure we live our best life. And one thing they always say is trying to let go of resisting life and trusting life more often. And one really crucial thing was that angels, I remember just talking about that the suffering that we have is not necessarily from the experiences. The suffering is from the stories that we tell ourselves about the experiences. But let me just tell you why you see angels all the time is that one thing that I know about angels is that they show up, because most of them were not earthbound, show up in people that we don't know. So I know all of you are going to react to this, and all of you have had this experience. All of you who love angels, listen to this, because it's pretty amazing, and most people don't know this, that if you're at the supermarket and this woman is taking care of you, she's cashing you out, and let's just say that she's an older woman, like maybe she's retired and she's working part-time, and when you're done and she gives you the receipt and thanks you, and just for the split second you have that eye contact, and this doesn't happen all the time clearly, but you have that split second eye contact that she looks right into your eyes. Or if you're leaving CVS or a store, and I'm saying CVS, like CVSs are all around the world, but they're not. Say you're leaving like a pharmacy and there's a guy sitting outside the door, and you put a coin or $1, you give it to him or her, whoever is homeless. And again, they look at you, and you have for that split second that eye contact that almost feels like for a second it is penetrating. It's almost like it's x-ray vision, and that, and you feel that actually happens with animals too. That this just happened to me recently, that I was walking by, I don't remember where I was walking by, and this woman was holding this dog, and as I was walking by and she's holding this small dog, he's sort of like almost on like my eye level, and as I walked by, he just looked at me with those eyes. And I know animals do that. It was different. When it happens, those are your angels that are using earthbound people, animals, it doesn't matter. They're using them to sort of give you that wink to say, it's me. Like every day when you were going through that, whatever trauma or sadness, whatever it may be, heartbreak, and you were praying to us, you were praying to the angels, these are the angels coming in and just giving you that nod. We heard you. We're here. We're always here. We're always here to help you. And that's the greatest thing about angels, that unlike spirit, and spirit gives us signs all the time, but that's really different than angels. When I do readings and validate readings all the time with people with dreams and names and all that kind of stuff. And people tell me that they see signs. That's from their loved ones that they were connected to. It even could be grandparents, maybe who they never even met. Angels are a little bit different, because angels actually use people. And the greatest thing is it's hard for me to try to tune in to when the angels tell me these examples, to tune into the person they're using. Let me use the homeless person. I would guess, if I had to, that at the moment that homeless person, when you give them $1, looks at you and it's really the angel, that they also feel something like goose pimples or goosebumps or something different, something that for a split second gives them that it's regardless of the circumstances, it's going to be okay. I again guarantee you that if you think back in your life, you're going to remember or know an instance when something like that happened, that you did not know the person, but the way they looked at you was just for a second, and it was a little bit different than the normal thank you, which is the majority of the times. But I bring that up because angels do that all the time, especially when you're going through a very, very difficult time. And angels know that, and that's what they come in. That doesn't mean that our loved ones aren't here for us. Of course they are. And they do whatever they can with signs and let us know that they're here. Angels, again, are just a little bit different. And I think it's also because, we don't have that same bond, that earthbound connection. Like say you lost your mother and she's in spirit. Of course she's going to be here and she's going to be around you and she's going to help and she's going to give you signs. But you have that earthbound connection, right? That sort of cord that never really breaks, that love connection, and she's here. Angels are different because you never really had that. So partly because they're strangers, and it's just our belief that these angels are incredible, they're beautiful, and they're helpful, and they guide us, and they do whatever they can, and they bring us miracles. And we didn't have that connection, I think, is also probably the reason why they go through people to let us know that they're here. But if you step back and you think about that, and again, the scenario with the homeless person, that when you put that dollar in their bin, or the cashier gave you that receipt and looked at you, that in that person is the angel sort of taking over the person's body and just saying, it's me. That's what this is all about. And it's a way that angels, and of course angels can also give signs clearly too, but that's one of the most powerful ways they validate. One night we had people over, and this was a while back, but this one of the women who was at our house for dinner, we were just talking, and she was talking about she was on a trip, and it was profound for me when she said this. She said she was with a group of people, and they were getting ready to leave a cathedral. I think they were in Italy, and I could be wrong, but I think it was Italy. And as she was walking out, there was a homeless person, and she gave them whatever money she had or whatever she decided to give. And the group that was with her got pretty upset, just saying that person's not really homeless. They're just doing that. They probably have more money than you. And she was kind of a little taken back by that. And one thing that she thought in her head, but what by chance if that was Jesus? And again, this is not about religion. This is her story and what she shared with us. But I just remember her just looking at all of us and saying, but what happens if that was Jesus that I just gave $1 to, or whatever the case may be? And I never forgot that. And now then I become a medium, and the mediumship is new to me. I didn't know I was a medium for the most of my life, but I remember that, and it's the same exact thing what angels do. So how cool is that? And I just, I was chatting so much. S. Johnson, 110% believe in angels. I love that. Oh, Salissa, I love that. And also Sil, yes, it's happened for me. So yeah, I mean, I think it's happened for everybody. And even if you don't believe in angels, I know it still has happened, but they're these entities that come out of nowhere. And if you think about that analogy I just gave, that, in these wildfires in California, the rain that comes, when the fire department can't control these fires and the rain comes and just extinguishes all the flames, that's the power of angels. And I can't tell you how many times I've done readings that the first thing I'll do when I see someone is say, there's angels all around you. Whether they're like in Zoom, whether they're in person, or when I'm on my radio show through the static on Wednesdays, I don't even see the person. I just can hear their voice and I can see angels all around. And lo and behold, the person will always say that they either believe in angels, pray to angels, or somebody very, very close to them does the same. And they sort of get the remains of that beautiful prayer or belief in angels, say it's mom or grandmother, and that's part of what's around. So angels are, I mean, just pretty amazing. And one thing that I know angels always repeat when I'm doing readings is that always saying to me to share with people I'm reading that life is specifically meant for you. It's not meant for anybody else. And, life is not unveiling itself or happening, to you. And angels always say, and that's what angels are all about, right? They want us to be to live our best lives. They want us to know that life is not happening by you, with you. It's actually in you. That's what life's all about. And the more you trust life, the more you learn from life and you keep going. But, it's interesting that out of all the readings I've done, and I do readings daily, and I've done tons of readings, whether private, whether, couples, whether it's a venue of 150 people, I've done a lot. And the only messages or specific messages that I got about what I'm talking about are from angels, not even from loved ones. I mean, loved ones give beautiful messages also, but angels are just a little bit different. And if you just think about also what I said, that suffering is not about, and this comes from the angels, is not about the experiences we're having. It's really only about the stories we tell ourselves about the experiences. If you just, when I first heard that, from angels, I wrote it down and then I just stopped and thought, what the hell does that mean? Honestly, to be perfectly honest, it took me a while to understand that. I'm like, isn't it repeating the same thing? Like, what does that mean? What does that mean? I felt like a sitcom. There was a sitcom that, what does that mean? What does that mean? There was a Seinfeld episode. That's what I felt like. What does that mean? Like, I don't understand what that means. And then it took me a little bit to understand that. But that's what this is all about. I mean, I always say, and I'm teaching a class, which wink, wink, someone here is in my class who I love. But I'm teaching a class, and I just talk about, I talk about so many things. And now that I think of it, I really haven't focused on angels, and I think it's probably because angels are just such a huge. Angels could just be an angel's course, I think, by itself. And of course, I forgot my train of thought when I was talking about with angels, but I think what I've said so far, you got it. And what I was going to say is that in my course, it always comes back. I get spirit. I'm doing readings in a second, so I get spirit already talking to me. But what angels always say too, and what spirit has said is that this is our play, right? We're the leader, the lead of our play. We're the director, the producer. Angels are part of that. But the difference with what spirit told me versus angels is, angels will say to me when I'm doing readings or even in meditation that, yes, every individual on earth is the lead in their play. We're like the puppet masters of our lives. But angels always say, but you know who we are, and what that means is that where angels want us to be, our personalities to be, is the entity behind the puppeteer. So in other words, what angels want for us, because they want the best for us, they want us to live our best lives. What they're doing is they're trying to bring us to our passion, to our purpose, to our livelihood, to live and to trust life. But the angels say, if you can somehow figure out how to be behind the puppet master, almost like if you envision yourself, like I'm Stephen, the personality, right? And I just talked about this in my class, that we all have a soul. Whoever is on here, I'll say Michelle Campbell. Michelle, I don't see her in front of me, but Michelle's physicality is the same as me. It's her personality. Syl's got a personality, Celissa personality. Anybody who's listening, what you see here is your personality, right? And then we're all attached to our soul. Our soul doesn't die. So this personality is going to die, and it's going to be replaced by another personality. There was personalities before, there are personalities in the future. That's what the soul's all about. What angels say is that if you can sort of, in your third eye, like sort of back out of your personality. So look at yourself. Like, so I'm going to look at Stephen from the back. I'm going to see the back of this beautiful head of hair. I can't. I have to be silly. That's just me, right? And hopefully people are laughing. But in any case, you go behind you, and so I'm looking at the back of me and seeing me as a puppeteer doing my play of life every single day. But the angels don't want you to be the puppeteer. They want you to be the sound, the voice, the entity behind that, so that you don't get sucked up into the stories you tell. As I mentioned, about the suffering's not about your experiences, it's about the stories you tell about the experiences. And that's all angels want, because angels know that if you get there, you can reach that greatness, that happiness, that you live and breathe life, and life is then able to tell you everything you need to know. You keep learning from life and learning from life and learning from life. So when you think angels are around, again, to protect, guide, spiritual talking to me, like offer wisdom or greater wisdom for your soul, of course they do all of that. But there's so much more. I know as a medium that I will never know everything there is to know about angels until I cross over and get to see them. Not that I want that to happen too soon. But still, thank you. But in any case, angels are way too complicated, and I think they also keep changing too. I also teach in my class that angels, they're complex anyway, but because of where we are, like now on this planet with everything that's going on, just to talk about the pandemic and the technology, everything else, wars and what's going on, it's just created so much chaos energy wise that it's difficult and tough for even angels and our loved ones to figure out what's going on with this energy. But it's even more difficult for us, especially if you're connected to spirit. It's not easy to be able to connect as it was before. And that may sound weird, but years ago, Stephen, you didn't now go online. It's like every other person's a medium or a psychic. I get it, but it's different. It's very different now. It's only because we have technology that we know that. But back then, and of course, mediums and psychics weren't as openly accepted as they were now. But it's still different. There's pockets of these of energy that was never around in years before, which again, for people that know they're connected and want to connect to their angels, the angels always hear us and our loved ones always hear us. But if you ever feel like, I meditate and, I talk to my angels and then I usually get a sign, or I feel something, or I get warm or I get cold, and that's not been happening, don't fret. I don't even know where the hell fret came from. I don't even use fret. Don't fret. I don't know if everyone knows what fret means, but don't worry. Don't worry. Is that it's still there. It's just that it's just something that with this energy pockets, it's more and more difficult to figure out. So that's my blurb with angels. So I sort of like this because I can't really tell how many people are here live, but I did put the StreamYard link up there. So if you click it, and I think that's how you can come in for a reading if you're so interested. So do that. Keep me company. So I don't see anybody, but I could be in the wrong mode because this is my first time solo. Usually I do Facebook and YouTube with StreamYard, and this is kind of wild too because Facebook, there's a lot of people usually here, and I don't know if that's the case here, but it's just Celissa, yeah, I'm just I love what Celissa just said. I didn't realize there was a difference between angels and spirits. I love learning this. Look, technology-wise, how cool I am. Just plopping that statement right there, right? But I love that, and there's definitely a difference with their objective and how they come across in the bigger picture, Celissa. And I love the question. In the bigger picture, they're all in the same place, and they all want the same thing for us, right? Even our loved ones want us to, they live vicariously through us. They want us to live our best lives and utilize every second that we walk this earth. That's what they want in a great way. And to learn, and the more you learn, the closer and better you keep getting to your passion and to your purpose in life, and just be happy. That's one of the things that Spirit tells me all the time is, any regrets are always they didn't spend enough time being happy. So that's where we are. That's what we say. Let's see here. I don't know what is going on, but I think I see people here. So if you want a reading, just go up to I've experienced both and love it. I talk to my angels and I get so many signs. It's so comforting. So listen, it is. I mean, that's the greatest thing. Then you get angels, you get your loved ones. It's a beautiful thing. Phyllis, me too. I was told that I need to start hitting YouTube more often. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. So that would be nice. It makes me feel better, right? It makes me feel good. But I was realizing though that I need more bling. I am going to do readings. I'm going to do more bling in the back because it's sort of boring. If you could, like, if my desk was further near the slider, like in my office, I'm on the top floor of my house. There's 3 sliders. I mean, this room is huge. It's gorgeous. If I was closer, you could see the pond, and it's beautiful out there. But all you see is like the double mint gum of me, and I always go backwards. Me and this guy. You remember Double Mint when it would have the twins? I don't know. Maybe I'm aging myself. Hey, Liz. Liz is here also. So I love it. So I will, let me just do this quickly. If I think I can do this. Hold on, everybody. So just so people know. And there you go. There's the link if you want a reading. Yesterday I was at 99.9 The Q. I don't know if you guys are listening to that. That's a lot of fun. Rebecca is the best, and the readings were just crazy, just calling in. It was good. It was very, very good. So, but let me go here because I am definitely going to add someone to. Hello.
Hey.
Jen, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
First of all, I got to tell you, I don't know if this is coincidence, but I love how your glasses match your sweatshirt. Just saying.
Oh, yeah. Purple everywhere.
I love it. So it's good. And then I was thinking to myself, oh my God, if Zoom may be like screwing up the color perception, I'm like, what happens if her glasses like blue when she's looking at me like, what the hell are you talking about, Steve? I don't match. They look like they match, so that's all
they do.
That's all that matters. So I love it. So I get to do this, and this is my first time solely on YouTube, so which is kind of cool. I love it. So Jen's like, Steven, just shut up and bring my little ones forward. I'm pausing, Jen, and I normally don't pause. There's just a lot of people here that are stepping forward. They're very excited that you're here, and there's a birthday or an anniversary. Well, what's close?
Because my birthday.
When is it?
The 16th of May.
I love it. So they're already prepping. They're already getting. So that's just like less than a month now, right?
Yeah, it's a big one this year.
No wonder why they're giving that. I also love that. Jen, did dad energy is here. And your mother is still here though, right? Living.
Yep.
So your father is, no surprise, is here just screaming at you like he's here, he's here. But you know something? He keeps showing me something on somebody's finger. Do you know somebody that has a like a marking, a scar, a tattoo, or something? There's something on somebody's finger that your father keeps saying. Nothing that you know of, or a like a something like I mean, I hate to say deformity, but if someone broke something and that the finger's weird, there is something that your father.
My very best friend, her pinkies like curved at the top.
I love when spirit just comes out and just gives these. I'm sure if your best friend watches this, your best friend's going to be like, of all the things you can validate with Jen, you got to
Seriously.
The thing, as I say this to all the time when I do readings, is that everything is random, right? It's random, but it's random for a reason, is to say it's really dad. Like
Mm-hmm.
I would never have known your best friend has now I almost want to see it, Jen, just saying. But your father also just brought that up, and knew you would know that, but your father just brought that up because he's giving a validation about the connection that you two have.
Mm-hmm.
And just the when I see when your dad just shows me back to back, your father just said to me, no, that they're like soul sisters. They're
Oh yes.
like because he keeps showing me I know I'm doing this like, and I'm not explaining, so if someone's coming on, it's probably like mentally there's probably something wrong with this guy. No, it's true. I see you and your girlfriend or your best friend like this back to back. It just means that he's giving that as a validation that you've got all this love. 9. Why is it what 9?
His birthday is in September.
Wow, I love that. I have a calendar that he just made me look at 9. And again, I know this isn't surprising to you, because I know from what he tells me all the time since this reading even started was that you know your dad's around you, right? I mean, he's just, yeah. He follows you, watches you, and the greatest thing is just how proud he is. Jen, he keeps showing me that this feels like years ago, I think. And I always tell people that spirit doesn't have any time frame.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it feels like you're young, but then it could be like when your daughter was young. I don't know. But was there some kind of mishap or something with like a firework or something that happened with I don't know if I'm assuming near 4th of July, but was there something went awry? Your father keeps showing me something being lit, which looks like a wick, but something goes wrong. I don't know if it flies off someplace, or he's talking about something like a candle that's lit, and the candle like burns out or starts burning something. There is something with a wick in fire, and as soon as we finish, it's going to come.
It'll
right?
pop to my head, right?
It does, right? Your father, not a big surprise. When Spirit says to me, your father's like, she knows. I'm like, I kind of figured that. If you're telling me to tell her, yeah, she knows. It's somewhere in her head, right? Just make sure. Who's Paul? Who's the Peter or Paul or Patty?
Peter is my best friend's grandfather.
Who's crossed?
Yep, he's crossed.
Oh, the best friend with the pinky?
Yep.
So
that was Pa.
I love it. That's what she called, or what you guys called?
That's what we all called him, was Pa.
I love it. I love though how he wanted to go right to his name though, not even Pa. Because
Yep.
Pa is too simple. I mean, I wouldn't be a good medium if I said, yeah, Ma and Pa, Ma and Pa Kettle. Those are like old movies I used to watch from like the 30s or something. I know I have ADHD. I know I just go off on rants and stuff. Felix tells me that all the time. But with that grandfather, make sure, Jen, you keep that information I just told you with the firework with her, because it's got to be, if the grandfather's stepping forward, it's your dad, which your dad is so sweet, is just letting her grandfather step forward, her loved one step forward, and just give validations too. Your father just said, you know what, Stephen, it's not surprising to my daughter because even though her best friend's not there, she's pretty much always there anyway. She's going to tell her. So what's the difference, right?
Yeah.
Make sure, Jen, you know that. And that what I love is that when you said to me, that's Pa, and I really wasn't sure, if she's your best friend, if you just knew that the family called their grandfather Pa. But when you said that's Pa, he wrapped his arms around you and just said how like you're his granddaughter and how he takes care and watches you all the time and loves you so much. But I will tell you something, he sends you signs, Pa. He actually sends you signs, and it's something with outside nature. It's birds or fishing or something. There's something he draws like a cardinal or a blue jay or a blackbird or something. Just know, and a lot of times, birds are a really common sign that spirit sends us, right? And a lot of times we chalk it up to, of course, what we love, like, well, that's dad, because it's your, if your dad's in spirit, or grandma or grandpa. A lot of times we forget that something like this, Pa, your best friend's grandfather, loves you. And the reason why I know that, Jen, is because my grandma Rose, who was my dad's the Polak, even though I just said that, and I guess I'm not supposed to say Polak anymore. It's not. I'm supposed to say Pole. But from a kid, I was always called a Polak, right? Mostly Polish, but a Pole. My grandma Rose, who I never met. There's a reason I'm telling you this story, Jen. I swear. I've never met her, and she is my guardian angel. She's with me all the time. She gives me signs all the time. And the amazing thing is that, of course, Elix knows that, but Elix was in a car accident couple of years ago, and when he called, I don't know if it was the police. I think it was the police, or maybe it's insurance. I can't remember. The girl that took, or the woman that took his information, she said, I just want to make sure you remember who you spoke to. I think it was the insurance. It's Rose, Rose. And Elix was like, who the hell would spell Rose? Like, how would I spell Rose, right? I mean, that's like Mel or something really short. And it was just a beautiful way that my grandmother was telling me and telling Elix that she takes care of him. Pa, I'm telling you, Jen, does that all the time to you. And Pa just said to me, and I don't know why, he takes care, he watches your car. Like when you need a tune-up or you need tires, or he always watches you to make sure that when you're driving, it almost, I don't know if this is you or your girlfriend.
It's probably her, because I don't drive.
Oh, so it's got, I was just about to say that I can't tell whether it's you or her, but it also, I think it's a double combination, because what I was about to say is it feels like he's there because someone is nervous driving. So I think it's a double validation of you not driving and her being nervous. Pa is giving that as a beautiful validation. Your father is so excited that now you've got this other spirit that now, and I'm sure you probably thought about him anyway, but that he's always taking care of you and like always watching you. But your friend doesn't go anywhere, and there's she's got something, a pendant or a chain, something. There's something here he keeps doing. She doesn't wear something like
I'll have to check with her. She's not much of a jewelry person, but she probably has something.
And it doesn't mean she actually wears it, but somebody, Pa, what's his name? Real name? Did I say
Peter?
Peter. Peter keeps doing this. It also feels, Jen, like he's saying it's worn differently, like this, like a ring. A ring would be not on a finger; it would be on a necklace. There's some piece of jewelry that he wants to give as a validation, and there's a name passed down. So just keep that with you too. Someone's named after somebody that Peter or Pa keeps giving as a validation. Well, how cool is it? You get this double validation? Not only your Papa, but now Pa. Peter is watching after you too.
No, that's all. And we're gonna see each other this weekend for the first time in 3 years because of COVID. So it's like tying everything together. Yeah.
Oh my God, Jen! No wonder why he came through.
Yeah.
Wow. And it was the best way, I guess, Peter or Pa could figure out or make sure you knew he was going towards your best friend was the deformed finger.
Yeah.
Personally, I think you should just take a snapshot of it and email it to me with this
I
week.
can do that.
Just saying. After everything I've done for your girlfriend, I think you should do that for me.
That's
So,
right.
no, wow, Jen, that just gave me goose pimples when you just said that. After, would you say 3 years?
3 years. Yeah.
No wonder why. I mean,
Yeah.
and so when you think how this is all connected and how our loved ones in spirit know exactly what's going on, you get a validation, your best friend gets a validation from her grandpa. I mean, again, goose pimples, I get energy like waves going through my body, but I know how connected you are too. So, and before I let you go, I just love the fact, and thank you so much for the feedback from the notes. So
Oh, of
I
course.
gave a whisper and a note for Jen's daughter, and the feedback, which I posted, one of them was just incredible. I didn't even post your daughter's yet, which I'm going to,
Yeah.
but yeah, because that was, I mean, your daughter was like going through every line of
Yeah.
like,
And like, you have no idea how much that just gave her so much closure. Like, she's finally been able to move on and like been okay. She can breathe now and knows that they're okay and no regrets.
yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. Jen, I
Yeah.
love that. And I love that I got to do those notes, and I love doing those notes, which are really cool. And I love getting to do this with you. So I'm going to leave you with that. Lots of love
Awesome.
to you, Jen. And
Thank
make sure you
you.
tell your best friend about Pa coming through.
I will, I promise.
I love that. So, I always say that to people, that Pa, excuse me, is saying you got to tell her. And I always will end my readings with, I will tell you that, but that's up to you, what you disclose. And but Peter Pa just said, there's no way in hell she's not telling her friends.
Yep, he's right.
I love it. So, Jen, thank you for doing this. Thank you for coming to
Awesome.
see me. And
Thank
I love getting
you.
to see you too. So,
All right.
you may be with me forever though, because this is new to me. So, I don't.
I don't know what to do
We
either.
may be having pizza together later. I don't know. Hey, I did it. I get very excited over small things. He tells me I'm animated, and maybe, I don't know. I just saw my face, which I usually don't, and I think he may be right. I chalk it up to the gay thing, though, right? Even though I really shouldn't do that, because that's really stereotypical. Because not all gays are animated, So I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about, seriously. So let me just go here, and add. Look at that face! Wow. I don't even know who you are. What's your first name? Tara, I can't hear you. So do you have your mute on? Or are you bringing me out to the country? Where are we going?
I shut my door.
So Tara, I honestly, there's people lined up, and I went to scroll, and it was spirit, because you just all of a sudden just popped up, and I didn't even realize I hit something. So, so are you ready for a reading?
Yes.
I love that, Tara. So let me get rid of all of Jen's loved ones. Like, boom, they're gone, and start. Oh my God! Wow. There's a lot here. There's a lot going on. The first thing I keep getting, Tara, is the sadness. I keep getting, like, I just keep getting energy that's, I don't know if this is a loss. I don't know if this is a loss in spirit, or if this is, did you recently lose somebody?
Yes.
So no, that's the first thing I started feeling, and it's your loved ones. The greatest thing about you, Tara, is that I just heard everybody in spirit saying, the first thing, Stephen, you need to start with is tell Tara she's not alone. You just have so many loved ones that are around you every second, getting you through this. Are you one of two? You have two siblings, or you have two kids? What's the two? Why do I keep hearing two?
I do have two kids.
That's I love Tara sounding surprised. I think so why they do that is just,
it could have been the person who passed too. She had two children also.
Got it. So it is you know what, I love that, Tara, because I'm sure it's a double validation why I kept hearing say two. So in any case, but it's also for your children. But who's got boy, girl?
Her.
I thought so. So know that it's her. She's stepping forward, and I cannot even tell you how she's hugging you, Tara. I mean, she's just got her arms around you and says every second she's missing me every second, and that she fought. She keeps telling me that she fought like whatever, and she hasn't told me yet. And I've asked her, who's Bob, Brian, Barbara, who's the B connected here?
Brenda's her mother.
Oh, but Brenda's still here, right?
Yeah.
So she's validating her mom. But she just keeps saying that what she was experiencing, she's Tara, she's very interesting in a good way. Because I said to her, what's your name? So I can tell Tara. And she's like, in due time. I'm like, yeah, sure. Just go have some coffee. Come on back and whatever you want. But it's a good validation, right? Her name, as well as how she crossed. But one thing, Tara, that, and they never listen to me. I ask them and they'll tell me when they want to, and I'm sure she will. But your girlfriend or friend just said to me that whatever she doesn't want to talk specifically yet about her crossing, but she just keeps telling me that it was tough. Like, it was so tough. It was tough. And she keeps saying that, Tara, just please know just how tired I was, just tired of this, just tired of it. And I got to tell you, what that gal accomplished in this period of time on Earth is incredible, Tara. It's really incredible. But she just said to me, but who the Rock really is this one right here. She's complimenting you and saying that what she keeps thanking you and thanking you and thanking you, and that's why she's got her arms around you, saying that Stephen, I love that you started this YouTube live off with angels, because this is one angel who's earthbound. And she said, how you said, Stephen, most angels have never been earthbound. This is the exception, because the empathy and the heart that this woman has, she just wants to thank you for everything. And you know what she just said to me, Tara, that the one great thing, and remember this, the one great thing that she has now in spirit is to be your number one guardian angel, that she has taken over that role. And we all have guardian angels, and we have number one guardian angels, but I don't know yet who yours was. But when she came into the picture, they were like, okay, you can, because she just loves being with you and watching over you. And she just said, watching your kids. This is such a selfless woman that is just pretty incredible. And it also feels like when she was here on Earth, that no matter what she was going through, she still was thinking of other people. Like, it wasn't ever about her. It was just about, I'm here, so let me make the best of when I'm here and why I'm here. But she's always around. She does something with you with lights or flickering candles or something. There's something with lights, or she keeps doing something with the light. Tara,
It could be. I have. Right, that's a candle. That's.
Wow, is that lit?
It's lit, and it's for her.
Oh my God. I love that she wanted to bring that up, and it was right next to you. How wild is that? You know what she also just said? And listen to this, Tara. I brought that candle up because, Tara, I'm sitting right next to you. Like, I'm right next to you. Like, and she's got her hands like right on you. She keeps just telling me she's cold. I'm cold. I'm cold. And she also talks about the service in something very special that somebody did. It seems as if there were. Did you go to a service, Tara?
For her?
Yes.
Yes.
She keeps making me feel like there's pins, like the pins. I don't know what she's talking about. She keeps talking about. Was she in a coffin? Like, was she laid out before being cremated?
Yeah.
You notice how I didn't even ask you that? She's just telling me how she was. But she's telling me that something was put in her casket. Like there was things put in, because she's making me feel like they're around her and she's smiling. And she said that when you went to the service, the nerves you had, like just walking in there and not wanting to go in, but whatever the situation may be. And she said, I got you. She was with you. She was right with you. And she walked in with you. She also just said to me, it's Tara, it's time for Tara to put Tara first. Now that she's in spirit, she just is now, she said, now I get to do what Tara has done for me, and just make sure I every day remind her of the beautiful soul she is, and the confidence that she needs, and the trust. And just Tara, she also just said to me that this year is a very, very good year. And she just said to me, and it's necessary to be a good year. She needs a good year. And again, that doesn't mean that life is horrible, but it just means that, I know
it's been a few tough years. So
yeah, I was going to say, I know we all go through things, but if she's saying that, she keeps talking about the wedding, a wedding. That there's nobody connected to you that just got married or is getting married.
Not that I can think of.
I'm asking her, why are you saying it's not a wedding? It's the ring. The ring. She's talking about. She's like, it's not the wedding, Stephen. It's the wedding band or the wedding ring. Did some? Was she married, or was she married?
She was, but she was divorced.
There's something.
There's a few things the ring could mean that I can think of. So
that whatever, but it's kind of interesting, Tara. I think it's a double validation that she's so sweet that she's giving a validation for her, but she's giving a validation for you too. There's something connected with you with a ring too.
Yeah, I have a ring with her ashes in it. That yeah, that I wear. Yeah.
And it's a ring with her ashes in it?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. I first of all, I didn't even realize that it was possible. I've seen them on a chain, but I didn't know it was in a ring. I love the fact that she was so specific about it's about you and it's about a ring. Yeah. She knows that, Tara. Yeah. She knows everything that you've got and that you wear it. And I'll tell you, the period of time that you guys had in this physical world is more than a lot of people have if they've been around each other for 80 or 90 years. Yeah. Very different, very special, just a very, very different. You understand that, right?
I do. I hear that from a lot of people.
Yeah, that connection is just unlike what normally happens, in that, think of it this way, Tara. Don't think of, there's a lot of things I can say from her. Who's Chris or Kathy? Who's the CRK name she keeps giving?
Chris is her cousin.
She's just validating people around her. But she just said, just think of it this way. Don't think, I don't want the sadness, because I'm with you. I'm always with you. And now she's like, I don't want to blow your mind, but now 24/7 I can be with you. Like, I can be with you all the time. But she also said that if you haven't already, Tara, and something makes me feel like you haven't seen the what the potential is, because she keeps saying her crossing is almost like handing you the key to open up gifts of your own that haven't been opened up. So make sure you keep that with you. And she just said, oh my God, Stephen, she's laughing so hard because she's like, Tara's like, what the hell does that mean? I don't know. And I love that your friend is saying, like, you may not know what she's talking about yet, or maybe you do. Just know that where this is going is a great place. And that's all Spirit tells me all the time, that they never want us to be sad. Because I tell people all the time, when you're sad, that every second you're sad is every second you can't connect with her or anybody in Spirit. We're on different frequencies. They don't want that. They want you to be happy and just to celebrate not only their life, but to celebrate that they're still with you now even more so. But she's trouble. I don't know. She keeps talking about we could get in trouble. We could get
She
in
is
trouble.
trouble. Yeah.
In a good way, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
A very good way. Just make sure you know that. And she just said, Stephen, I made you click Tara without you knowing. And I'm like, I didn't even have to really use the mouse. It just clicked, right? And she said, because she said, if Stephen pulls me on, you've got to come through. You have to come through. You had to have said that. There's no question in my mind that you did, because she's right next to you saying, I heard her. And I needed to make sure. She needed this more than anything in the world to understand. Remember too, it's more about so the tattoo.
For her or for me?
Both. Nobody you guys didn't get tattoos or talk about getting tattoos together, or getting a tattoo why did she keep talking about the tattoo?
Myself and some of her family members, we all got tattoos with her initials on.
And she knows. I love it. So I love that, and that's why I asked you, did you both get tattoos together? What she was saying is that you and family members got the same tattoo. That's what the together is. So again, she knows everything about what's going on with you. And the last thing I'll tell you, Tara, is that why she wanted to pull you on, honestly, is not anything about her. It's really about giving back to you and just making sure that you always keep in your head. She said, and stop the negative chatter. Just stop it. But she just said, what you've got coming is just nothing but amazing stuff. But your mind has to be in that mode too. If the universe can take its time to set you up in this greatness that's coming, the least you could do, I love the way she talks, the least you could do is just stay, step in step with your universe and make sure that you do the same, Tara. So you've got beautiful stuff coming up, and never, ever, ever forget that woman is with you every single second, and how much she loves you and how much she thanks you. So, and you're here because you're supposed to be here, and you got on because you're supposed to get on. So, and Tara, thank you so much for letting me do this. It's hard to get to do this, especially when, you're in a sad place and missing her. So, but
I appreciate
the funny thing is, I was just going to say, the funny thing is, all the rest of your loved ones, as much as they wanted to come through and talk, they knew this was something you needed to hear. So how amazing is that? A beautiful, beautiful soul you are.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for letting me do this.
No, thank you for doing it.
All right. Lots of love to you.
All right. Bye.
When I also say lots of love to everybody, I always think, I just thought when I just said that, like, people will be like, well, that's kind of a weird thing to say. Maybe he's hitting on me. If you're a woman, you're fine. No problem. Not hitting. But I say lots of love because of my radio show. My theme song on Through the Static on Wednesdays is Nicolette Lawson's Lot of Love. So every time I do readings, especially it started on the radio show, because I don't get to see people. And I just thought, unlike Zoom or when I do in-person readings, I get to see faces, which I love, right? I get to see people's reactions and emotions, and I get to see their auras. I get to do that too on the radio, but I don't have them in front. I don't have people in front of me that I can see. It's just the phone. And I thought, how can I equate something that makes me feel like, or makes them feel like they saw me? And I thought, oh my God, my theme song, lot of love. So that's how I usually end all my readings. Lots of love to you. So that's what I do. So I know you're probably like, this is TMI, Stephen. Shut up and take the next person to reading. So I don't understand where my bar went. And I know there's people, I just don't know where. I just looked down and it says in blue, having issues. Where am I? Oh, hello.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, how are you?
I'm doing great, thanks.
So you know something? this
What?
clearly is just a night. I mean, it always happens anyway, but this is clearly just a night that spirit's just clicking. Or I'm just messing up. I don't know. But are you open for a reading?
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
Of course.
yeah, of course I am. I'm here. I'm spending time, Stephen. Yes. So I'm tuning in and getting rid of Tara's loved ones, which is really, really powerful. But Denise, this is interesting how your reading is started. It's way back. It's grandparents, but clearly grandparents you've never met. And I'm trying to figure out why. There's always a reason for it, and it's always a great reason. But you normally when I do readings, clearly I have generations that are really close to you, like brother, sister, mother, father, grandparents. This is different with you. Some guy just yelled out, yeah, that's because she's different, and they're all laughing in spirit. I love, in a good way, Denise. But there's a lot of what are they saying? Denise, let me ask you something. Did even years ago, was somebody ever connected to you in theater, or did like plays, or did recitals like from a long time ago, or even maybe current time? I'm asking because I keep hearing people talk about backstage, and it makes me feel like and when I say plays, I don't mean like doing Shakespeare. I just mean like, as kids, like it feels like almost like I'm dressed up in a costume, or it's some kind of recital, that I'm really little, and I'm on stage. Because why I'm getting that is because there's a lot of generations back that are just saying that they were there, they were there, and nothing that you can connect with.
Well, I used to do tap dancing when I was little,
Wow.
and there's pictures of me like at dance recitals, so maybe it was like great grandparents or something. I'm not sure.
Oh, Denise, I would say not maybe. Yes. It's so cool that that's the first thing they're starting with is your tap dancing. So, could we interest you in doing something now? No.
Yeah, I don't think so. Next time I see you in Alex, we'll talk about it.
You just made me snort just saying, Denise. And Denise was at my premiere, which I thank you so much, you and Mama, right?
Yep.
In Dennis. So the premiere of Lady of the Dunes, which was so unexpected and just so cool, that I get to see you and got to see your mama too. So which your mother is, Elix and I really wanted to take her home. I'm just saying, we did.
I'll rent her to you.
A tap dancer and a comedian we got here. But no, getting back to spirit, Denise,
Yeah.
But seriously, how wild is it that even when you were at that age tap dancing and doing recitals, if you really, and I say this because spirit, all those back generations are telling me to tell you this, when this reading's over, take a second to just think of that when that was happening, your loved ones in spirit that you never met. I mean, I'm talking like generations, like great grandparents were all there watching this recital and just supporting you and being with you. But one of them just yelled out to me, but that's not surprising or shouldn't be surprising to her. Denise, did you ever have some kind of, I don't know, like experience as a little girl, of something weird that happened connected spirit wise, like seeing something or feeling something, or sometimes even being afraid, like afraid because you feel like you heard something, or they keep telling me that you did. And I know that even for most of us, that's a long time ago, right? Like when we were real little. Make sure you keep it with you, or a sibling, or there's some connection of like spirit related as you're little. So just make sure you keep that with you if that's that doesn't come. And why do I keep getting teacher? Who was the teacher or taught something? I keep seeing the alphabet.
I don't know. I know you said that to me before too, and I'm not really sure. I'll have to talk to Mom about it.
if you know the great thing about readings, because I don't remember readings, if I brought that up before, there's a reason why they're bringing it up again, and
Yep.
it's just maybe just a little nudge to say ask your mother. It's normally never about something you just do not know, because there'd be no point in that, right, of spirit bringing that up. It's really more about it's somewhere in your mind, and the very, very minority is something that you don't know, but they know if you ask, say, your mom, she would know. Somebody in spirit was a teacher, and I Denise, you're gonna have to email me. I guarantee your mother knows, because it feels like it's her, like her great aunt or great uncle. So it's up there generation wise, but there's a teacher somewhere, and I don't know how long of a stint teaching was. And again, it also doesn't necessarily have to be academic. It could be teaching cooking, music, anything like that. Who's the young male that's in spirit connected to you? There's a young male, and when I say young, 60s or younger, you don't have a brother or a brother-in-law that passed?
I do have a brother that I never met.
Wow. So know that he's stepping forward to let you, just gave me a big smile. Well, gave you a big smile and said, but I met you. Maybe not met me, but I met you. You know, one thing that he just said to me was that if there's one thing that I want my sister to hear from me, is just how incredibly proud he is of you. But you know, he also said how it blows him away how resilient you are, how it does not matter. Like, listen, we all get a lot of hard stuff hitting us, and a lot of things that we think that we're not gonna be able to get through them. But he just looked at you. It's not usually spirit stares at me so I can hear what they're saying. He's not doing that. He's staring right at you and just saying, in tears, mind you, Denise, my sister is unlike anybody I've ever seen or anybody on this physical earth. That the resilience that this woman has and what she's gone through and how she keeps managing to come out on the other side is pretty incredible. That always is coupled with, when spirit tells me that, it's always coupled with part of your personality is that resilient, that strong woman, but also the fact that what you do for people, Denise, is pretty astounding. You know, and I got to tell you something. I'm not surprised about that, because when Elix and I left it was really the first premiere, right, on April 1st. When we walked out, Elix said to me about you. He said, you know, Denise has, you know, have you ever read her? And I said, to be honest, I think I have, but I don't remember reading. So I don't. And I always tell people when I start reading, don't ever take it personally, like, because I don't remember. And I always feel bad when I'm talking about something and someone will say, you read me before, after I just said, you know, pretty much I never met you. But it's never personal. You all never forget. You showed up at my premiere, right? And your mom. But what I was saying is that when we walked out, Elix just said, did you ever read Denise before, or her mom? And I said, I think, but I'm honestly not sure. And he just said to me, her energy, because Elix is definitely empathic. And he said to me, that woman's energy, meaning yours, you, is boundless. And when he said that, I just thought to myself, why did you use that word? And he just said, you know, I don't even know. And I said, I know. It's because of what it represents for Denise. It's just like what your energy is, what your spirit is. I mean, never mind that I love that word, boundless. I always say I want to do a class just called Boundless to be able to get people to know that. But those go hand in hand, that the people that you have touched, whether you know this or not, just talking to them for a couple of minutes. Your brother just said, my sister will be in a supermarket and just chat with somebody, and that person will leave. And like, I don't even need to ask you, do you do that? Because I know your brother's telling me that person will leave just feeling so much better, Denise. And that's all, you know, and all the stuff that comes out when I do readings, it's always connected to what you're going through now. Like when I just read Tara, and she, of course, when I first started, I didn't realize until I tuned in that she had just lost a friend recently, and all the stuff that came up from her is because of what's going on in her life now. Same thing with you, Denise. Your brother's giving that as a validation to sort of, he said, somebody's got to I'm not saying it correctly, not tap you on the back, but give you props, because she certainly won't. And just acknowledge, what he's saying is you won't acknowledge the strength that you have and everything that you've been through. There's no question also in my mind that you're a healer. That goes hand in hand. Whether you know this or not, and I'm sure you do, that even when you're in the supermarket or wherever you are, part of, or mostly of, what your personality is and why you talk to people is to help people. And that's innate. That's you have no control over that. And if someone says, because Elix says it to me, by the way, all the time, we gotta go because I'm talking to someone I don't know, and I do it all the time. It's just part of who I am. It's part of who you are, and part of that is just your soul knowing that you've got these qualities to help people and to make people feel better. We went to the market yesterday quickly, and honest to God, next time I'm doing a live Wednesday before my Through the Static show. I'm going to bring Elix up without telling him I said this and ask him about it. And we're walking through the line, and this is really about you, Denise. I'm doing sort of an analogy. And there was a woman behind me, and she had a dog named Henry in her cart. So of course I turn, I'm like, oh my God, you have a dog. Is he friendly? So I started petting him. So Elix is doing the whole work. He's taking all the stuff out of the carriage, and he's doing everything and bagging stuff and putting in the carriage. I'm oblivious. All I'm talking to the woman and Henry, right? He tapped me rather, and said, we're done. Like he was completely done. And this woman didn't even take her stuff out of the carriage because we were chatting. And he said the cashier, she was a younger, and said she got the biggest kick out of my reaction to you. Like, dear God, this guy is never going to leave. But that's, I know some people are like that. And it's all not just about, we like to chat. Are you a Gemini?
No.
Oh, what are you?
Virgo.
Oh, same. You're a little different though than a Virgo, but in any case, that's what we've got, and that's why we're all individuals, and that's what we all got. And some of us have more of it, but just remember that is probably the biggest compliment I think Spirit can give, what your brother just said about you, and just where you are, and that your brother also just said to me, and Denise, you've got a lot more to give and a lot more to do. I always tell people, we're here, and I'll say this to you as your brother just said, you're here for a reason. You could not be here. I mean, there's people that are younger than all of us that are watching or listening that are not here, right? That have passed away from accidents or illnesses or so. You're here for a reason. And I'm telling you, that communication and that healing part of your soul is a huge reason why you're there. You must have in your life had people say to you, Denise, come on, let's go, right? With your chatting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And just, you're not done yet.
Well, I was done as the supermarket was closing, right? I was really done. So, but Denise, thank you for letting me do this. This was definitely my pleasure and my honor to get to see you and to do this. And I will tell you, I could not even begin to explain to you what that meant, that you and your mom were at that premiere. Of
course we would be there for you.
It was to see you guys and get to hug you guys after the premiere was, well, before and after. And even Denise asked, being in Rhode Island and knowing I'm not that you would know because I have no accent, right? In Rhode Island.
Oh yeah, right.
But you even asked about, can I bring you something from the bakery? And because Rhode Island is the only place that has like pizza strips and like the square pizzas and not the round pizzas. And I know I'm talking too much again, so Denise, it's I guess just a fault of both.
Yeah, but there's no cheese on that stuff.
No. Although like my in where I grew up in Providence, my mom used to go to the bakery in Sal's Bakery, and the pizza strips are long square ones. You can get just white, just like no red sauce at all, just peppers, and which is amazing. Then just the regular red, just like the tomato sauce. They're really good. And when I came to Massachusetts, I was asked, I went to a restaurant once or a little pizza place and said, I have a pizza strip. And 3 times the guy looked at me and said, "A what?" And I kept saying, "A pizza strip, what?" And had no idea what the hell I was talking about. And I'm like, "A pizza slice?" And then he gave me the regular pizza slice. So yeah, it's a
All
Rhode
right,
Island thing.
we got off track here.
I know. Denise, I know. I'm just saying about you, and I do the same thing. So, listen. So I will leave you with that, and lots of love to you, Denise.
All right, we'll see you next week.
Next week, you're gonna see me Wednesday. God, tomorrow is tomorrow I have my class. Tomorrow I have my radio show, so I'll do a Facebook Live. But listen, I only allocated an hour for this, so I've got to go. But everybody who was here and listening, make sure that you go back, or maybe you've already caught this, that there's no chance that stuff that came through these readings are not also part of you guys listening. It happens all the time. You do not have or need to have me do a reading to get validations. Your loved ones are watching every one of you and know that let's say this so that they know it's for them too. So thank you guys. Thank you for being here on YouTube. Thank you, Canadian ladies. I'll see you tomorrow in the class, and I hope everyone has a good night. And tomorrow at usually about 20:05, I will be back with the Puerto Rican with Elix for Through the Static. So bye-bye.